Hello. At the beginning, because it's lightning session, let's explain this weird acronym. This the combination of AuDHD and the X, and AuDHD is a combination of ADHD and SID and the X. Every acronym separately means the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorder, and the developer experience. Because we don't have a lot of time to explain everything in details, we will simplify it to the game, disorders and deficits. In this game, you are a wizard, and your main resource to do something is attention. You want to spend as much as attention on your job, but unfortunately, you have to also fight with these distracting goblins. Those goblins appears when you're waiting 4 or more seconds for something. Switch context, for example, when you leave your IDE and open browser, and when you make a minor mistake like type or something like this. When it happens, you are forced to roll the dice for focus, but if you have ADHD, most of the time you have some negative modifier for this roll. So how to fight those goblins? When the changes of win are against you, you shouldn't. You should scare them and keep them away. And every goblin have a fear. The waiting goblin is fear of short feedback loop. The context switching goblin is afraid of integration. And the minor mistake goblin is fears from automation. So let's prepare our development environment and project to keep them away. We will start with aliases. They allow us to personalize away our CLI and hide everything that is complex, doesn't matter, we don't care, and expose only short and simply commands. Aliases are natively supported by Bash and Z shell, so we don't need to install anything, but just define them in Bash RC or ZSH RC. And the first alias I want to share is GS. It's just a combination of git fetch and git pull. Don't remember to do those two things. It's not rocket science. Another is a main. It's more complex, and it allows us to don't think about if the default branch in the repository is main or master or something else. And just we want to get the name. And we can combine those two aliases in new alias, st, that checkouts to the default branch, whatever is the name of this branch, fetch and pull. So it's the simple alias that I'm usually use to start working in a repository. And in most cases, when you have to rebase some branch to the other, you probably also want to rebase to the default branch, so we can define a simple alias for rebasing. Another tool is defining global git ignore. I think not all developers know that you can define it globally. To do this, you have to set a core excludes files in the config. It will add lines like this in the configuration. And with this configuration, we can list all files or directories that we want to ignore in every repository on our computer. I usually add that private directory because it helps me to keep some files that shouldn't be in the repository, but I want them in the projects, and .env to don't push it by mistake. On the top of aliases, I'm using Z shell AutoEnv, and the behavior of this tool is dedicated for Z shell, but probably you can find some alternative also for Bash. After installation, it's run auto-env shell file when you enter to some directory, and auto-env leave shell when you leave it. So you can add some custom things that run on start and on end. To don't remember the names of those files and prevent typos, I also create an alias to make them. And they are also added to my global git ignore to don't push them by mistake. And what can be the use case of this? If we have global alias IDE that opens Visual Studio Code with current directory, in some directory, in monorepo, for example, we want to don't start it with dot, but with the name of workspace. And it will overwrite the alias in the current directory, and in the auto-env leave, we can exec zshell, reload the whole shell and set the alias to the default behavior. Okay, our CLI is ready, so now we will start a new project. I will start with Astro, because Astro has pretty good developer experience out of the box, even if you use the minimal template. And the first thing worth to mention is that it created a launch.json file. Launch.json is the definition that allows us to start the repository with attached debugger, and we don't care if it's Astro, Next, or even Python. We just go to the definition, start a project, and we can work on it. And in similar way, we can configure our tests that they will be explored by the IDE, and tests also can run in the debugger mode. So if we want to check some values in the runtime, it's also possible in the lower scope, and this also works the same way in the Python. And to have this exploration, we have to install another plugin, the vtest, and because developers shouldn't guess what plugin should be installed or not, we add it to the extension.json. Astro already added their plugin here, so we add another. And the last thing we want to configure are linters and formatters. We will start with installing all the dependencies, and the most important here is slint plugin prettier. That is my recommendation to use it, because it's changes all prettier rules to slint rules. So we don't need to communicate with prettier directly. It's also, yes, we need to configure prettier and slint. This is just a copy from the documentation of Astro, nothing special. But in slint, we want to use this plugin and add it. And now all the unformatted code will be treated as an error in the slint. And we add the slint plugin, and prettier plugin is unwanted. We can also add unwanted plugins. And it starts yelling at us that the code is not formatted, and we need to hover on the lines to know that it should be replaced. To don't hover it, we can install another plugin, error length, and then it will yell at us louder. And because it yells at us so much, we want to configure IDE to automatically fix all fixable errors. The crucial thing here is to format on save set to false, because we don't want to format the code. We want to fix all slint problems. And because we are using plugin, slint plugin prettier, all unformatted code is a slint problem, not formatting problem. And after that, we can, when we save this file, it will be formatted, it will be good. We can also add a plugin for spell check to prevent some time pause, and it's basically it. Sorry for being chaotic. My name is Michał. I'm a senior full stack engineer and at IndieBI by day. And after hours, I'm also streaming on OnlyHans.dev. If you want to check the setup of environment and repositories, they are publicly on my GitHub. And that's it. Thank you.